What's up, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode here on the ShaunsTake Talk Show. I'm very excited today to announce a new format for my show moving forward. Every week, it will now be on Thursdays coming up. I'll be doing a weekly show for 30 minutes covering all different types of news in sports. We're going to have a lot of different topics. We're going to be going over NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, XFL, NASCAR, boxing, all type of stuff. We're going to be talking about, so I'm really looking forward to this moving forward. Now, if there's anything that you ever want me to talk about, you can definitely email me. My email will be in the comment section, or message me on Instagram and Twitter at ShaunsTake. Leave a comment. So if there's any topics that you want to see, or if you have any news you want me to report on, to get my take on, just let me know, and I'll always, be open to talk about it, add it into the schedule. So I'm really excited about this moving forward. And I'm looking forward, to bringing you weekly news, bringing you weekly stories, hypotheticals, rumors, trades. Off seasons are coming up in the NFL, playoffs are coming up in the NBA, MLB spring training is about to start, NHL playoffs are coming soon. So it's definitely an exciting time in sports, and it's going to give us a very good opportunity to talk about a lot of stuff that's going on. Now, our first topic for today, Forbes always does their team values. And I was looking at the numbers last week, and there's a lot of amazing things with the money in sports right now. According to Forbes, the NBA teams are at an average $2.2 billion, up 14% from last year. That's the average across the league. Now, the Knicks, Lakers, and Warriors lead the way, all above $4 billion. The NFL average team right now is $2.86 billion, 11% increase from last year, with the Dallas Cowboys leading the way at $5.5 billion. The MLB average, up 8% from last year, is $1.78 billion, with the New York Yankees leading the way at $4.8 billion. Now these numbers are crazy. I mean, obviously this is an insane amount of money. Everyone knows how big sports are, but I don't know if everyone really realizes the magnitude they have, in the cities that they're in. All these sports, these professional teams impact society greatly. This is a lot of money. The economy, there's a lot of economic reasons that sports are very important and very valuable for cities. That's why every city wants a sports team. LA got 2 football teams recently, already had 2 basketball teams and 2 baseball teams. And they help cities grow. They help power cities. All these professional teams, there's cities that run off of their sports teams. Weekends for NFL, Sundays, cities are surrounded, by football fans. Football fans going to the game, paying for tickets, going to the restaurants around in the area just to watch the game in a bar. So if you don't really think of it, when you're going to a game or when you're watching a game on TV, but sports are such a huge part of society today and the culture, of all these cities that host sports teams. Whether it's through TV deals that cost millions and millions of dollars, through player contracts, through all the people that are hired to work for the teams, for stadiums, for the venues that they put on. The professional sports teams in the U.S. have a huge impact. And everyone, whether you like sports or not, they impact you some way. And these professional sports teams, their values are going up and up every year. And it's only helping, society and economies grow, and as the leagues continue to improve and players get better and better, and more people take interest in sports, the values of the teams are only going to continue to grow. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys are at $5.5 billion. Just wait till they win their next Super Bowl. The Cowboys didn't even make the playoffs this year, and they're still by far the NFL's most expensive team. When they start really winning, and they have, the pieces in place, I think a lot of people believe that the Cowboys are supposed to be right on the cusp of contention. That value is only going to go up, and more people are going to tune in to watch them. So if you get a Cowboy in the Super Bowl, all of a sudden, the viewership for that Super Bowl would go up too, with so many Cowboy fans. And just Dallas itself, with a better team, which they're going to get in the future, they're only going to make more money there. And even the Warriors at $4 billion, they have the lowest record in the NBA right now. All their championships obviously helped get that value up, but the Lakers are going to be in the finals, in the playoffs in contention pretty soon. with LeBron and AD leading the way. They're not going anywhere. The Knicks, they've been one of the worst teams, but still, their market is huge, and when they get good, it's only going to get bigger. So it's kind of crazy to look at how much money is in sports, and really, it's sports impact cities in a huge way that often isn't realized or recognized. Moving on, the XFL has launched. I don't know how much you guys have been watching, but the games are really exciting. I've been watching the games every weekend. We're going into week 3 this weekend. And it's an exciting new league, and hopefully it sticks around, which right now it's looking like it will. It seems way more structured than the past attempts we've seen, and people are loving it. The ratings are good. People are having fun at the games. The players are doing well. The coaches are liking it. So there's a lot of confidence around the league that it can really stick around. I will actually be out at the DC Defenders game versus LA Wildcats this Sunday. I'll be at the DC practice on Saturday too, so I will have some more information in that, in next week's show. So I'm excited to get out there, kind of see what it really is like. So I'll definitely let you guys know how my experience goes, and kind of what the XFL is like, what the players are like. And if you've watched it, it's still good football. It's not the NFL. And they did, there's some rule changes that we're about to talk about, but what they've done a great job is it's different enough from the NFL to where you're not watching the same thing that you've been watching all NFL season, but it's still football. So it's not like you're watching a whole new game and are going like, what the heck is going on? It is still football at the end of the day, just with a couple different rule changes, which we're going to go over right now. No extra points, no more PATs, so you can go for 1, 2, or 3, 1 from the 2-yard line, 2 from the 3-yard line, and 3 from the 10-yard line. This has been, I'm sure teams are still trying to figure out what the best strategy is moving forward to go for 1, 2, or 3. Obviously, going for 3 from the 10-yard line is more of a desperation comeback mode. You need to make up some points, get the 3 there, which could help a lot. But really going for 1 or 2, we've seen a lot of teams go for 2 because of the difference between the 2 and 3-yard line. It's not too different with play calling. But there definitely is going to be more strategies involved in this with what teams choose to do moving forward. And so it's going to be exciting to watch how teams, for the rest of the season decide what their strategy is going to be for the extra point. Another big part of the game is the clock doesn't stop. So until you get 2 minutes in the half, or at the end of the game, the clock is running the whole time. Kind of encourages a quicker game pace, which the XFL wants, speed up the games a little bit, make it more exciting, promote more scoring, and then under two minutes, the clock will stop after every play. Now this is a huge effort for the XFL to promote more fourth quarter comebacks, more scoring in the final 2 minutes, kind of keep things interesting more. And we've seen that. There's a lot more opportunity to score at the end of the game. There's going to be a lot more comebacks in the final couple minutes. So you can get 2 or 3 possessions in the final 2 minutes instead of 1, which you would normally see in football. So the higher fourth quarter scoring is always exciting. Who doesn't want to see a comeback when they're watching the game? And it really makes it interesting. Teams, you have the whole playbook open because you don't have to worry about clock management. You don't have to worry about getting out of bounds. The middle of the field, which in the NFL on a 2-minute comeback or a 2-minute drill is normally wide open, is now fair game. So you can throw a 15-yard post over the middle, get down, clock stops, you get to reset, and you don't have to spike it. You don't have to worry about trying to hit comebacks, outs on the sideline to get out of bounds right away. So it definitely is going to promote a more diverse play calling in the final 2 minutes of a game. Kickoffs, if you're watching, the biggest change you'll see is kickoffs. It's the easiest one to notice. Teams line up on the 35-yard line on the returning side of the field, and the players on the opposing side line up on the 30. So once the ball is kicked, no one can move until the kick is caught. And so it takes away from the high-speed collisions that we see in the NFL and in college football. And it's kind of new. There haven't been a ton of huge returns yet. I'm sure there will be more strategy coming out about that too, on how to get bigger kickoff returns. But really, it's limiting the collisions people take because there's only a 5-yard gap between the return team and the kickoff team. So it's more one-on-one blocking. Can't really set up a wall, which the NFL is actually work to take away. And again, a little bit more strategy on where to place the kick, how far you want the kickers to kick it. Hang time is going to come into a factor more. So that'll be another thing to watch moving forward. But so far, they've had good success with their intent to limit injuries on kickoffs. The replay system is a little bit different, or just the overall viewer experience. You get to hear the play call every play. The announcers have a playbook, so they a lot of times will highlight what, if it's a run play, left, right, zone, power. If it's a pass play, what the route concepts are. So as a fan listening, it's a great way to learn the game. Actually, if you're looking to learn the game of football, you will hear the play call. The announcers will tell you a lot of times what the play is. So you get to know kind of what to expect from the offense. And it's been kind of cool. It's a whole different thing than what the NFL does. You obviously don't get to know the play calls in the NFL. But it's been nice to kind of get a different perspective of the game. And it allows fans, to know what the officials are thinking when it comes to reviews too. The officials are mic'd up, the coaches are mic'd up. So you hear a lot of times when it's an instant replay what's going through the officiating, how they're looking at a call. So, you're not sitting there guessing if it's right or wrong. You kind of hear their perspective right away, which has been a cool touch that the XFL has put in. So media-wise, they've done a great job. And obviously they're trying to make it different, trying to make people come and watch, and so far it's working. Overall, very exciting league. Really exciting to see where it goes. And looking forward to the rest of the season, and then when playoffs come, looking forward to playoffs. Up next, obviously the NFL season ended a little bit ago. Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champions. We're now NFL's in their transition stage to the off season. You're going to start hearing mock drafts, free agency stuff coming up. But quickly, I want to go back. Last weekend, I sat down with a friend of mine, Riley McGuire, and we did a little NFL recap. So real quick, let's take a look at the NFL recap we filmed. Today I'm sitting here with Riley McGuire, and we're going to give you a 2019 NFL season recap. We'll start with the Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Riley, the Chiefs had an amazing season, obviously. You can tell with the Super Bowl win. What do you see from the Chiefs moving forward?
Well, Sean, first off, thank you for having me on the show. Moving forward with the Chiefs, coming off this impressive Super Bowl victory in Patrick Mahomes, just his third season, I see a very promising future for him and the team. They have a lot of pieces around Patrick Mahomes, and now that he has that veteran presence with a Super Bowl ring on his finger, I see a lot more to come.
Now, do you think that the Chiefs will be able to create another dynasty in the NFL?
I do not see them as, say, a dynasty, such as maybe the Patriots, as we've seen recently. But I do see them winning. I see Mahomes winning at least 2 more. But I think they're going to be spread out throughout his career with the new teams that we have that are emerging in the league.
Yeah, one of those teams being the Baltimore Ravens, who obviously Lamar Jackson lit up the NFL this year, MVP, no questions asked about that. His throwing was better, led the league in touchdown passes, and then also on the ground it speaks for himself, shattering the record for single-season rushing yards by a quarterback. So how do you look at the Ravens moving forward?
Yeah, well, so Lamar Jackson specifically definitely played with a chip on his shoulder this season after a lot of people were telling him to move to running back. He wanted to prove everyone wrong, and he did just that, winning the NFL MVP. But overall, for the Ravens, it was definitely a breakout season for the team. Ever since that last Super Bowl appearance, they haven't really made much noise. And this year, they kind of shocked a lot of people, and I really see them as one of the bright teams in the NFL's future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the AFC, just with the Chiefs and the Ravens, we're assuming they're going to be good for a long time. But this year, we saw the Titans come along late. A lot of that due to Ryan Tannehill taking over for Marcus Mariota, and then Derrick Henry completely running wild for the second half of the season. Now, both Tannehill and Henry are free agents. We're going to assume that the Titans are going to do everything they can to re-sign Derrick Henry, but if you're the GM of the Titans, what's your plan at quarterback?
At quarterback, Tannehill was a viable option this year. I don't see him being the guy. Mm-hmm. He was able to step up, and Mariota just not being able to get it done. But long term, I think they need to look to the draft this year. Maybe re-sign Tannehill to maybe a 2-year contract and just see what happens from there.
Yeah, they do have the franchise tag, so that could be an option. But it's gonna be interesting to see what their plan is for Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. That's a lot of money on the table right there, and obviously teams don't have a ton of money to spend, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with that. And then also this year, we saw the end officially. Could be the end of the Patriots dynasty. They lost in Wild Card Weekend to the Titans, and after going 8-0, it looked like they were going to kind of just walk their way to another Super Bowl victory. So what do you see? Tom Brady's a free agent. What do you see from the Patriots? Just both, kind of the second half of this season when we saw them to weaken a little bit, and then going into next year.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it straight up. The Patriots dynasty is over. I don't see them back in the big game for a while. Tom Brady has definitely shown a lot of signs of slowing down this past season. He is by no means the quarterback he used to be. I definitely think that the Patriots will bring him back on a 1-year deal, but I do think that they will be looking to the draft in this offseason in order to draft a young guy that Brady can mentor.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the NFL just wouldn't be the same if Tom Brady wasn't on the Patriots. So I'm definitely expecting him to be back. And then, like you said, hopefully for them, they can find that next guy and have him sit a year or two behind Brady before taking over the reins. But definitely it doesn't seem like the Patriots are going to be as prominent as they have been. And even the emergence of the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen looks like he's ready to take that next step. And we may see the Bills even win the division next year, which is something we haven't seen in a while.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. I think the Bills are the definition of average. I truly don't see them making any splashes in the upcoming years. They haven't really been prominent in a long time, and I can see them making the playoffs, but never going far.
I agree with that. Right now, I don't know if they're a contender, especially with the Chiefs and Ravens, and even the Texans, who we saw beat them in Wild Card Weekend. But I do feel like the Bills have some pieces in place that they can work with moving forward. Now, flipping over to the NFC, Michael Thomas in New Orleans set the all-time single-season receptions record, basically unguardable the whole season. What was it like to see a guy like that have that much success?
It was cool to see a guy in our lifetime break such a record that's been held for a long time. I mean, he broke an NFL all-time record. It's hard to do. Probably not going to happen again for another 15 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's a ton of talent, and it's always kind of special. We saw with Drew Brees too, breaking a couple records this year. It's always special when we get to see records being broken because everyone who knows football and knows sports understands how hard it is to set records like that, and that's a record that's been around for years, and all of those records, when they're set, it's seemingly unbreakable. And then eventually someone comes along and is able to have that type of success. So it's definitely special to be able to see Michael Thomas have that type of year. And now, moving forward, we're going to have some more content coming up about free agency and the NFL draft. But really quick, what do you think of Joe Burrow? Basically a lock to go number 1 to Cincinnati, but what do you see from him in his NFL career?
Honestly, I think he's a bust, Sean. Honestly.
Really?
I see him going number 1 to Cincinnati, but I don't see him going far. He played 5 years in college, and he had 1 good one.
That's the concern on him. Obviously, his LSU year last year was amazing, kind of unrivaled to other quarterbacks. But it is. Why did he only have success for 1 year? And that's going to be a question that will be answered during the combine and everything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does, and then how Tua does, and how Herbert does from Oregon. So out of those 3 quarterbacks, who do you like the most?
Honestly, I like Justin Herbert the most. He showed consistency at Oregon. He was MVP of the Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He probably should have declared for the draft last year.
Yeah.
And he probably would have gone higher than he will this year. And that's a decision that I'm sure he does not regret making, as I know he loves playing at Oregon. So, I think he has the most upside, and I think he will have the best and longest NFL career.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, but there's a lot of good options, and there's going to be a lot of teams happy with what quarterbacks they get in the draft. All right, so there's a little bit of a NFL season recap. As we mentioned, there will be a lot of NFL offseason news coming up. So we'll definitely be covered throughout the draft process, throughout free agency, what trades are going on, and all the big storylines that'll be coming pretty soon. So we'll definitely have more in the future episodes about the NFL offseason and keep you up to date with what's going on. So last weekend we had the NBA All-Star. NBA All-Star weekend was a huge success this year. Starting with the dunk contest, Derrick Jones Jr. of the Miami Heat won it, edging out Aaron Gordon. A little bit of a controversial win there. But nevertheless, it was a very exciting dunk contest. We saw a lot of athleticism between Jones and Aaron Gordon. So it was fun to watch. A ton of great dunks, and really kind of showing that there is still a lot of excitement to be seen on All-Star Weekend. So no matter what you kind of thought of the ending, at the end of the day, it was a very exciting event. Team LeBron edged out Team Giannis in probably the most exciting and competitive All-Star game we've ever seen. Kawhi Leonard had 30 points and 8 threes, took home the new Kobe Bryant All-Star Game MVP award, obviously honoring the Laker legend who we tragically lost a little bit ago. And if you haven't already seen it, I did write an article about Kobe that is on the website. Check it out to kind of see the impact he had both on and off the court, and how his legacy will never be forgotten, but we did lose him far too soon. What made this game so special was there was a new sense of competitive to the All-Star game. Both teams came out firing. Kawhi had eight threes, but not taking bad shots. He went off in a efficient way that you don't normally see in an All-Star game. You could tell it was competitive when the teams played defense. It was a whole new format, which I love what the NBA did with it, trying to make the game relevant again, because the past couple of years it's been awful, and they have been scrutinized heavily for that. So they really did make it exciting, by far one of the most exciting All-Star games I've ever watched, ever seen. When the players in the fourth quarter were arguing with the refs over calls, it's easy to tell that they care about it. Normally it's kind of a joke at the All-Star game, but this time they were getting heated. Players were taking charges in an All-Star game. Players were going up to contest shots in an All-Star game, playing tight defense at the end of the game throughout the fourth quarter. Neither team subbed in the fourth quarter, which is kind of unheard of for an All-Star game. They both wanted to have their best lineups out for the whole fourth quarter, and that was awesome to see. Not something that we normally get to see from an All-Star game. And it was very good for the NBA to get competitiveness back into All-Star Weekend. So, I'm assuming they're going to continue on with the same format that they used this year. And I think moving forward, there's definitely a bigger want to play in the All-Star game for players. LeBron took it very seriously. And when he did, there was a domino effect of players who, also took it seriously. So when when the biggest faces of the NBA kind of came together and said, look, like, this is going to be a legit game, it turned into something very special and very fun to watch. So, definitely moving forward, look forward to the All-Star game. It's not just a joke anymore. Like, this was a fun weekend to watch. It had a lot of great moments and a lot of competitive basketball. So now, with All-Star break being over, NBA teams kind of have that final run to get into the playoffs, to get everything ready going into the playoffs. The Western Conference, obviously the Lakers and Clippers are the two big names right now, with a bunch of other teams playing very well too. The Nuggets are playing great. So it's going to be exciting. In the East, the Bucks have best record in the NBA, looking very good. The Celtics are in the mix. The Raptors are playing great, which a lot of people didn't think they would have the success they have this year after losing Kawhi. So it's definitely going to be a fun end to the NBA season. And moving into playoffs, we'll definitely have a bunch more news coming out about that. And see what teams, kind of put themselves in a good position to make a playoff run this year. Moving on to the MLB, specifically talking about the Dodgers, there's been a lot going on with them lately. They had a very quiet off season in the beginning. They actually lost, more big names than they brought in. And after making it to the World Series and losing twice in a row and then getting out in the first round of the playoffs this past season, it was kind of, like, okay, what's going on? They have a good enough roster to win the World Series right now. They just need to put the pieces together. And then all of a sudden, the free agency is really quiet. Not hitting on any of the guys they were looking to get. And I was kind of just sitting here like, okay, what move are they going to make? They needed to do something. They're not done yet. Boom, they go out and get Mookie Betts. Amazing trade for the Dodgers. From the Red Sox point of view, it's hard to tell if they were doing it for cap reasons, money, which is kind of what seems logical. Their management said it was just a move they felt they needed to make, not regarding money. Obviously it's always going to be tough to lose a top 5 player for Boston, but they're going in the direction that they think they need to go in. And for the Dodgers, it's a huge move. You're getting one of the best players in the NBA, in the MLB, top 5 easily, both hitting and fielding, multiple Gold Gloves Betts has, and then also they got David Price in the deal, who had a down year last year, but should step right back up, be in the Dodgers rotation, and give him a really strong pitching staff. But Mookie Betts it's gonna be special in LA this year. So this obviously is a huge move for the Dodgers in an effort to win a World Series championship, and I think after a quiet offseason, it was the perfect move for them to make. They're coming in with a loaded roster. There's a lot of excitement in LA now, and so it's gonna be fun to watch, and we'll see how things turn out. But definitely, you can expect the Dodgers to really turn it up, and look the part of a World Series champion this year. Now, the Daytona 500 just happened. Danny Hamlin won the Daytona 500. There was a scary accident with Ryan Newman. If you saw the crash, car got hit multiple times. He did walk out of the hospital today, though, which was very good to see. Hopefully his recovery will go well. But overall, after actually getting delayed by rain, the race was an exciting race with Hamlin winning the 500. And I don't think a lot of people, who aren't into NASCAR realize how big the Daytona 500 is. It seats over 100,000 people in it. So it's a huge event in Daytona. One of the biggest sporting events in the year in the U.S. So it's definitely an exciting thing to watch. And if you do follow NASCAR, of course you know the name Jimmy Johnson. He is retiring after the end of this season, which is pretty big news for NASCAR. He's easily one of the best racers of all time. 83 all-time wins, ranks 6th in history, and he's won 7 championships. So NASCAR is, kind of giving a farewell tour to one of the best they've ever seen. This wraps up all our topics for today's episode. Stay tuned for another episode on next Thursday. We'll be consistently posting on Thursdays from here on out. If you'd like, again, as I said in the beginning, if you'd like me to talk about a certain topic, message me on Instagram or Twitter at ShaunsTake. Email me. My email will be in the comment section. And let me know if there's anything you want to hear. And then also, next week, I will give a little bit more detail about our upcoming community service opportunities. But if you would like to get involved with the ShaunsTake Community Outreach Program, feel free to message me, and I will fill you in on what we have planned coming up and how you can get out and help. We've got a lot of exciting events coming up for us, so I'm really looking forward to telling you guys about that a little bit more in our next episode. But we love all the help we can get, and if you want to get out and make a difference in the community, please let us know, and we'll be happy to have you. Thanks for watching this episode of ShaunsTake. I'll see you guys next Thursday.